What is up, everybody? My name is Kyle Matovcik. I am the host of the In Liberty and Health podcast, where we talk all things liberty, health, and wellness, and beyond. My hope is to encourage and spread the message of liberty and physical and mental well-being. I hope you enjoy all the topics we talk about with our guests. We're on all major streaming platforms, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Man, I'm doing as good as anyone can do getting buried by his 13-year-old son on leg day.
I'm not going to apologize for not being on this podcast because I got to go see Matovcik. So if that's a problem, kiss my ass. Okay? All right.
All right, everybody, this is In Liberty and Health, episode number 91. I'm a little dicey on numbers, but I got the great Clay Clark with me today. How you doing?
Brother, I'm fired up to be here with you. I can tell you I am alarmed often because of knowing what I know, being at the tip of the spear where, you know, my daily conversations consist of talking to Dr. Martin and Dr. Zelenko and General Flynn and Mike Lindell and Eric Trump. When you know all of these things, the profundity of the times we're living in and knowing how it all fits together is overwhelming. So what I hope to do on this show and any show I'm on is to provide the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and to drop at least 10 knowledge bombs that people can't hear anywhere else.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think that's a very, very good work to be doing. As a libertarian guy, I think I have a unique space in the whole political world because we try to take the best of both worlds. But I guess real quick, you were a kind of like a business guy prior to being very, very political. So I'm guessing it's because 2020 kind of strong-armed you from.
Well, okay. And I still am a business guy. So let me just tell you, you always see what a man values based upon what's in his calendar. So let me just tell you my day today. Okay. So at 7 a.m. this morning, my first client meeting, we do outdoor living. The company's called PMH OKC. We build pergolas, fire pits, that kind of thing. And then at 8 o'clock, I had another meeting with an engineering firm. And then at 9, I met with Rhema Bible College. They're a church that I work with. And then at 9:30, I did an interview about the Great Reset versus the Great Reawakening. And then I shipped back, upside down. I shipped back at 10 o'clock into my next client meeting. And then I come back here at 10:30 for this interview with you. So I'm doing both, and I would call it Nehemiah-ing. In the Bible, in the book of Nehemiah, Nehemiah was called to rebuild the wall while simultaneously fighting versus the bad guys. So it's fighting while building. It's doing both. And the one thing in Nehemiah, it's interesting, is there's a character by the name of Sanballat in the Bible who kept trying to stop Nehemiah from doing his work and tried to distract him using rumors and gossip. And that's the one thing I have no time for. It's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I'm finding the truth is very embarrassing for Republicans, very demoralizing for Democrats, and very stress relieving and encouraging for people that seek the truth. So I think that the libertarians have been most rewarded by discovering that Ron Paul isn't crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think as time continues to go on, we see more and more. You can kind of look back at Ron Paul in 2008 and say, wow, that guy was right on everything.
That's right. Ron Paul, baby. I mean, again, I'm not saying that Alex Jones is 100% right about everything, but I can tell you, it turns out Alex Jones has been right about the vast majority of things that he said, and Ron Paul too. So I almost feel like we need to start wearing shirts that say Ron Paul was right, or Alex Jones was right, because these are guys who've been in the truth movement for so long. And that's why I'm excited to see people like yourself moving into the space as well, because we all have to fight back against COVID-19, the Great Reset.
Absolutely. And over the last 2 years, like I said, it just seems like everyone's kind of been strong-armed into action. So I guess real quick, where were you in 2020 and what made you decide to be a little bit more outspoken?
Okay. I drive my car down the road. I was moving in a vehicle down the road while my wife was driving. Cause when I'm driving with someone and they ask me a question, I immediately turn my attention to them and I go whoop, 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 into the shoulder. So she's driving the car. She turns to me and she says, hey, what are you going to tell your clients to do as it relates to COVID-19? And I'm saying this not so that I'm not fishing for clients. I'm saying this so that my people out there can understand what I do for a living. I either own, invest in, or coach with 160 brands. That's my max. Okay. And I help those clients grow. So for clients, I charge them $1,700 a month. And I get a percentage of the revenue. That's what I do. Mm-hmm. So that client I was telling you about this morning, PMH OKC, I make 2.5% commission. So if somebody buys a pool for $100,000, I make 2.5%. And I get a percentage of the growth You see, people hire me not to come and cannibalize or take part of what they've already earned. I get a percentage of the growth. So if you go to thrivetimeshow.com and you click on testimonials, you can see my clients, and most of my clients are with me for 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. It's crazy. One of my clients, he's been with me for 14 years. I just talked to him yesterday. So I work with these people, and then we do photography, videography, web development, performa, accounting, hiring, firing, systems, training, workflows, all of it. So my wife says, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to tell the clients to do? Now, this is where it was a little wild, because I knew some things that people didn't know. And I'm more of a Ron Paul guy. I'm a Ron Paul guy. When I have to go vote, I'm going, well, I got a Republican. Does he have a chance to win versus the Democrat? I'm against socialism. I'm in favor of conservatism. This Republican, who's my only option to vote today, the only guy I can choose, is clearly not in line with the Constitution, but he's more constitutional than the other guy who's a socialist. So I end up kind of picking the better of the two evils, but I lean to libertarian. But the point is, so I said, well, let me do my research and I'll have an answer. So for me, research consists of doing the following things. I don't ever watch the news. That's just me. I don't watch the news.
That makes two of us.
And I don't listen to views of celebrities. I don't watch the news. I don't listen to the views of celebrities. I don't do it. So I go do my research, and I found, if you go to timetofreeamerica.com, I've documented my research at timetofreeamerica.com /revelation. Everyone should just write that down today, because I'm going to drop knowledge bombs and it's going to get crazy. So timetofreeamerica.com /revelation. And I'm going to share with the listeners right now the things that I learned, and hopefully through slow down, speed up, pause, rewind technology, everybody can get this. Okay. But everyone take notes. Okay. So in 2002, I discovered that the CDC patented the coronavirus transmissible to humans with patent number 7279327. What? So I've discovered again that the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, patented the coronavirus transmissible to humans with patent number 7279327. I discovered that the system and method for testing for COVID-19 was patented in 2015. Uh-oh. What? Yeah. So if you go to timetofreeamerica.com /revelation, let me read this exciting patent to you. It says here, I mean, imagine going into the patent office. They say, sir, what's your name? And he would say, my name is Richard Rothschild, and I'm here to patent a system and method for testing for COVID-19. This is in 2015. Sir, what is COVID-19? Well, it's a system and method for testing for COVID-19. And the patent number, and this is the patent number he chose. Listen to this. US 2020 279585 AI. So what? The system and method for testing for COVID-19 was patented in 2015. So I'm going, Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. And then I discovered this, and these are all just things that I discovered, and I've documented them all. This is wild. I discovered that in 2016, Moderna patented what they call a vaccine. It's an mRNA modifying nanotechnology. They patented, check this out, Moderna patented a quote unquote vaccine, which is an mRNA modifying nanotechnology, in February 4th of 2016, that contains traces. Let me repeat it. In 2016, Moderna patented a vaccine that contains tiny chunks of the DNA found in COVID-19, the quote unquote virus. So when you start doing it, you start to go, wait a minute. I discovered that the Rockefeller plan was written in 2010. What did you say? Rockefeller plan? Yep, 2010. I found that the Rockefeller plan, calling for a world of tighter top-down government control and more authoritarian leadership, written on page 16 of that document, the Rockefeller plan. I found that. And the final thing I found, I'm just giving you a lot of facts here, is that in 2008, the NIH began aggressive research on how to block out the God gene, the VMAT2 gene, which is the part of the, so like you have guitars in the background. Yeah. So if you were doing a show, let's say, just say I grabbed one of your guitars and I'm like, wow, 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 go in now, wow, wow, wow. There's no reason that I picked that up other than I had a creative thought that's my own. Mm-hmm. Or Foxy. Yeah. And everyone would have their own. When you think of guitar, everyone has their own idea. These people have their own thing. Purple Haze. Everyone's got their own idea of guitar. Whoa. Johnny works at the 9. Everyone's got their own version of what when they think of guitar, where does that come from? It's called God. Okay. And God they've tried to discover that they've tried to study the brain. They're like, where in the brain is God? Where's God? We got to stop it. We got to stop God. We can't control God. It's called the VMAT2 gene. And on December 9th of 2019, again, you asked me in 2020, where was it? This is all stuff that happened pre-2020. Is it the technology used in the mRNA COVID-19 shots? That technology in 2019 was patented. It's called CRISPR. And so mRNA technology found in the COVID-19 shots can now be used to deliver the CRISPR gene editing, which blocks out the God gene. So at that point, I recognized, wait a minute. So what happens if I don't want to put the technology inside my body? So I'm looking it up. I found out the CDC was building green zones. The CDC is building green zones. It's a quarantine camp. If you go to Google, type in CDC green zone, you can see all this. So they're literally, this is the option. You take an RNA modifying nanotechnology inside your body that connects your brain via 5G to the 5G towers and to the space-driven satellite systems that controls your thoughts and tracks your movements, or you go to a quarantine camp. And if you say, how can you prove that? I got one little sound clip and then I'll stop talking. This is so important. I try to distill a lot of information into chunks that hopefully people can get. So we got my sound clips pulled up here. And this is Yuval Noah Harari. And for anybody out there that doesn't know, Yuval Noah Harari, if you want to find someone to get mad at, Yuval Noah Harari is a man that Barack Obama refers to as the prophet. Okay. He's praised by Obama, Zuckerberg, Gates. His name is Yuval Noah Harari. And Yuval Noah Harari is, again, the top advisor for Klaus Schwab. Now, for anybody out there that doesn't know American history as well as maybe we should, in 1971, Richard Nixon got us off of the gold standard per the recommendation of Henry Kissinger. And Henry Kissinger is the man who told Klaus Schwab to start the World Economic Forum in 1971. And 1971 is the year that the song Shaft came out, by the way. So it is fair to say that in 1971, America got the shaft. Okay, the world got the shaft. So let me hit play here. Here we go.
I think maybe in a couple of decades, when people look back,
here we go.
The thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital. And if this was the moment when everything became monitored, that we agreed to be surveyed all the time, not just in authoritarian regimes, but even in democracies. And maybe most importantly at all, this was the moment when surveillance started going under the skin.
What? This is the moment that surveillance started going under the skin. Now, if anybody out there doesn't know this, if you type in biosensor, NIH, COVID-19, just type it into Google, biosensor, COVID-19, NIH. You will see that there is a biosensor technology that was developed to basically prevent the spread of COVID-19, quote unquote. But it's a biosensor that goes inside your body. And the reporter says, well, what does this do to privacy? You know, the reporter at the New York Times, credit to her. I don't like to give credit to the New York Times, but they at least asked, well, what does this do to privacy? I can't believe that they didn't interrupt him when he said this as a response, but they asked him, well, what is COVID? What are putting a biosensor underneath the body? Because remember, COVID-19 stands for Certificate of Vaccination ID AI, putting a chip underneath your skin. So they're saying, well, what does that do to privacy? He says this.
We are great. We have these wonderful high-tech companies. We make a lot of money out of it. It raises our power in the world. What can be wrong with it? This debate about privacy versus security is as old as civilization, you can say. But there is something new now. For the first time in history, it's possible to completely eliminate privacy. It was just never possible before, and it is possible now. Something fundamental has changed.
Listen to this.
When dictators always dreamt about completely eliminating privacy, monitoring everybody all the time and knowing everything you do, and not just everything you do, but even everything you think and everything you feel. Whether it's a tyrant in ancient Greece or whether it's Stalin, they always dreamt about it. They could never do it because it was technically impossible. Now it's possible.
There's that. So, whoa.
Yeah, so much for our Fourth Amendment.
Right?
Right out the window.
Or our First Amendment, the patent they have actually filed right now. There's a patent to give to all of this. This treasure trove I give to you, folks. And by the way, my website is hosted by Epic, EPIK hosting. And these guys, they pride themselves on not being able to be taken down off the internet. So That's why I talk about the censorship, but if you go to timetofreeamerica.com/revelation, I'm going to read you the patents so people can look this up. And what happens is right now is people owe it to themselves to do the research. If you're listening today, some people attack me a lot online. They go, Clay Clark, I don't like his personality. Fine. So I don't like the fact that he's so energetic. Fine. Well, I hear that he's a Mason. Well, what, did you just throw out the allegation that someone's a Mason and you go with it? Everyone has to use their own discernment, okay? But I'm giving you the facts. It's not about me. It's about COVID-19, the Great Reset versus the reawakening. That's what's happening. So the patent is patent number US 2021 008 2583 AI. What? US 2021 008 2583 AI. And this technology would alert authorities about if you are physically around other people, quote unquote, a super spreader of misinformation. Seriously. And the legislation that Congress is writing right now to enforce this is called HR 6666. And the technology that would make it possible for you not to be able to buy or sell unless you put this technology into your skin is WO. These are all patents. You can look it up, folks. Type in, look at the legislation, HR 6666. And the patent number is WO 2020060606. That's the Bill Gates cryptocurrency that goes inside the human body. What? Patent number WO 2020060606.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's a lot. Yeah, this is kind of one of the reasons I've been skeptical of cryptocurrencies, because despite the fact people may say they're decentralized, I don't know how much I trust that.
Let me. I'm going to play this audio for you. No one's ever heard this yet because I'm editing this right now. Okay, so to my right, I'm editing. But I just want you to listen to this. Okay, sure. Do you know who Elon Musk recently the woman that he most recently produced children with? Her name is Grimes. Okay.
Yes.
Singer by the name of Grimes. Okay. I want you to listen to what he and she say back to back. Listen to this.
Neural lace is sort of like, it's basically a Neuralink, because life imitates art.
Neuralink is an Elon Musk company.
It does indeed.
It does indeed. So she wakes up and the opening scene is her memory has been uploaded by this neural lace when she's been killed. And now she gets to choose a new body. And this AI is interfacing with her recorded memory in her neural lace and helping her and being like, hello, you're dead, but because you had a neural lace, your memory's uploaded. Do you want to choose a new body? And you're going to be born here in the culture and like start a new life.
You could also save state.
And save state?
Save state, like save your brain state, like a save game in a video game.
Whoa. like if you want to swap from Windows 95 to like you
probably a little better than that, but yeah.
I think we are Windows 95 right now.
Yeah. From a future perspective, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you could save state and restore that state into a biological being if you wanted to in the future. In principle, there's like nothing like from a physics standpoint that prevents us. But you'd be a little different, but then you're also a little different when you wake up in the morning from yesterday.
The relationship with superintelligence, like artificial superintelligence, is just, it's like great.
If someone ultimately does get a Neuralink installed, what will take place?
Well, for version 1 of the device, it would be it basically implanted in your skull. So, but it would be.
Now listen to this. I want you to listen to this.
We are becoming cyborgs. Like our brains are fundamentally changed. Everyone who grew up with electronics, we are fundamentally different from Homo sapiens. I call us Homo techno. I think we have evolved into Homo techno, which is like essentially a new species.
How many years before you don't have to talk?
If the development continues to accelerate, then maybe like 5 years, 5 to 10 years.
That's
obviously it's not utopia. It's not perfect. And like, cause like striving for utopia, I think feels hopeless and is sort of like maybe not the best terminology to be using. So it's like, it's a pretty good place. Like mostly like, you know, superintelligence and biological beings exist fairly in harmony. There's not too much war. There's like as close to equality as you can get. You know, it's like approximately a good future.
I think there's going to be a lot of breakthroughs on the medical front.
particularly around synthetic mRNA. You can basically do anything with synthetic RNA, DNA. It's like a computer program. So, I mean, I think with enough with effort, that's not too crazy. You could probably stop aging, reverse it if you want. You can basically do it. You can turn someone into a freaking butterfly if you want with the right DNA sequence. So, I mean, caterpillars do it.
We can choose our own evolution. We can change the way our brains work. And so we actually have a huge responsibility to do that.
It's allowing them to control a computer or a phone just using their mind.
It's like if you look at Silicon Valley and you look at like whatever the technocracy, like what's been happening there, like it's like when Silicon Valley started, it was all just like Facebook and all this like for-profit crap that like really wasn't particular. I guess it was useful, but it's sort of just like whatever. But like now you see like lab-grown meat, like
Yuval Harari.
I mean, that's what's going on. I mean,
Jesus.
and now listen to this. Now, Grimes put out a song here, okay?
Mhm.
And the song, her newest song, is called Shinigami Eyes. And do you know that Shinigami Eyes is the new browser extension created for Google that blocks you from being able to see any website that's deemed to be transphobic or transgender phobic or homophobic, or so soon you won't be able to actually find facts on the internet that if it goes against the transhuman transgender narrative. And that's the name of her new song, Shinigami Eyes. And in 2018, she wrote a song called We Appreciate Power that lays out how COVID-19 is going to happen. It's called We Appreciate Power.
Holy crap. Yeah, so much for having any ounce of privacy, because at that point when you're linked that tightly to everybody, I mean, just imagine they're able to control your thoughts. You're not allowed to think the wrong things. Your social score goes down because you think the wrong thoughts.
Yeah, well, she actually talks about this. Listen to this. This is her explaining how money should work.
Technocracy, like what's been happening there. Like it's like when Silicon Valley started, it was all just like Facebook and all this like for-profit crap that like really wasn't.
Let me skip this clip. It's mind-blowing that she says these things out loud.
Mm-hmm.
This is Grimes, Elon Musk.
And it's like I keep thinking about motherhood, how under
this is the lady he created his last two kids with.
Capitalism, it's like this extremely essential job that is very difficult, that is not compensated, and we sort of like value things by how much we compensate them. And so we really devalue motherhood in our society and pretty much all societies. Like capitalism does not recognize motherhood. It's just a job that you're supposed to do for free. And it's like, but I feel like producing great humans should be seen as a great, as profit under capitalism. Like that's like a huge social good. Like every.
She wants mothers to get paid for having kids. Listen to this.
That is being the arbiter of truth or public discussion. That is a responsibility. I am not qualified to be responsible for that. And I do not want to.
Okay. So she has a real hard time discussing free speech. Okay. So these are just, that's Grimes speaking out loud, describing her worldviews.
Well, this is something that the left oftentimes does, is they conflate things, and she's right there conflating motherhood and kind of what capitalism is. Capitalism is basically just, markets, free markets, voluntary interactions. You are kind of in a way getting paid to be a mother because there is a man that is responsible for you and your children. You don't have to have the kids if you don't want kids.
You're not, see, but these people don't have a biblical worldview. So it says in Ephesians, I'm supposed to love my wife the way that Christ loved the church.
Right.
And it says that a man who cannot provide for his family is worse than an unbeliever. Let me listen. It says, a man who cannot provide for family worse than unbeliever. I mean, think about that as a Christian. I mean, that's pretty heavy. Wow, God, that was pretty heavy. 1 Timothy 5:8, it says, anyone who does not provide for his relative, especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. These perverse people, let's just recap what we've just heard. They want to put RNA modifying nanotechnology inside your body that allows you to have eternal life. and they control your thoughts. And COVID-19 was about putting a certificate of vaccination ID AI onto your body. Mm-hmm. So you say, well, why are we doing this interview right now? Well, what is the purpose of this interview? I have 3 fundamental purposes for doing this interview and maybe a bonus 4th. One, anytime I can come on a show like yours, and I encourage people, don't stop listening to this show just because you lowered your standards to have me on the show. But it's really important. One is that you can share the truth as many places as possible. Mm-hmm. 2 is everybody has to know there's COVID-19, the Great Reset. That's their actual plan. That's not my opinion. This is their plan. And the leader of this plan is Klaus Schwab, and you have Yuval Noah Harari. Klaus Schwab and Yuval Noah Harari. That's the 2 people at the top. Yuval Noah Harari serves as like a prophet. He tells people where the direction they're going. He casts the vision, and Klaus Schwab makes it happen. It's Klaus Schwab and Yuval Noah Harari implementing the Great Reset, okay? That's what's happening. That's the Great Reset. It's Yuval Noah Harari, Klaus Schwab versus the Reawakening. Now, I say the Reawakening, the reason why I'm doing the Reawaken America tour is because I have found, by and large, people tell me, they say, if it were not for your show, I would have never heard this anywhere. And I didn't recognize, I had no idea how censored the world was, because I don't watch the news and I don't listen to celebrities and their views. I didn't know that was an uncommon thing. I didn't know. I've built successful companies. Let me tell you how I build successful companies. I build them by doing what works. I don't listen to the hype. I don't watch Ty Lopez videos. I don't go on YouTube and learn how to get rich quick. I build a business that sells chimeneas and fire pits, and I have a dog training business and a haircut business, and I help grow carpet cleaning companies and home building companies. I sell real products to real people on the real planet Earth. That's what I do. But I guess a lot of people have been brought into this net called the mainstream media and the celebrity celebration, where they make decisions now based upon what most people think or what a celebrity thinks. And so when you go to the Reawaken America tour, I encourage people, just to give you a sneak peek of what you're going to see. If you go to timetofreeamerica.com and you, right now we're all sold out for Myrtle Beach, but we do have some tickets left for Virginia Beach. We have just under 1,500 tickets left for Virginia Beach. We've had on the tour, Owen Schroyer, Alex Jones, Dr. Dave Martin, Charlie Kirk, Don A. Clement, Chad Prather, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Mike Lindell, General Flynn, Eric Trump, Pastor Aaron Lewis, Pastor Bill Cook, Amanda Grace, Thomas Renz, Sherry Tenpenny, Scott McKay, Eric Naputi, all these great patriots, Pastor Greg Locke. You might say, well, what's the common denominator? None of these people are doing these events to make tons of money. That's not what they're doing. That's why we let people name their price. So Jonathan Isaac, the NBA player, one of the only players that won't they won't kneel for the flag. He will not kneel. He will not give in to the Black Lives Matter narrative. By the way, Black Lives Matter is an organization founded by a lesbian Marxist and funded by a racist white Nazi. He will not kneel for that. He won't do it. He says, I will not kneel. Kash Patel, President Trump's right-hand man, his chief of staff, he'll be on the Reawaken America tour. President Trump has, I believe, maybe 6 people very close to him. He's got Dan Scavino. He's got Peter Navarro. He has General Flynn. He has Eric Trump, Don Jr., Kash Patel. 4 of the 6 people closest to President Donald J. Trump are on the Reawaken America tour. So I just encourage everybody, if you want to know what is actually going on, like election fraud, medical fraud, religious fraud, during a 2-day event where you can name your price, go to timetofreeamerica.com. You can name your tickets. You can get your tickets right there. Timetofreeamerica.com. You can name your price. Or for a kind of a speed pass, you can text me directly at 918-851-0102. That's 918-851-0102.
Awesome, Clay. Well, I will have your links up in the show notes description. And anything else you want to plug?
No, I just would say, I did write a book called COVID-19. It's the Great Reset versus the Great Reawakening. Let me grab it real quick here. Mm-hmm. And all your listeners can download this for free if they want to download the PDF version by just going to timetofreeamerica.com. You can download the book, The Great Reset versus the Great Reawakening. It just came out. You can get this thing, download it for free. Or if you want to buy it, you can go to the bookstore at timetofreeamerica.com. And that book is just, that is selling like wildfire. So I encourage everybody, get that book. It explains everything that's going on. All the sources are cited, and it also ties in the biblical prophetic as to how it relates to the current events we're seeing today. But thank you so much for carving out time to allow me to be here with you.
Of course. Thank you, Clay. And until next time, everybody, take care and rock and roll.
Take care, Kyle.